wirelessly to this computer.
How?
Just through the wireless in the classroom.
Okay.
Yep. And then once I'm connected, so if I start this presentation, so at its most simple, I'm now basically just remotely controlling this computer. I can use these buttons to go back and forth in my slides. But the beauty of this is anytime that I want to, I can tap this annotation button, and now I can annotate over top of my presentation. So I could go in here and I can highlight something if I pick the highlighter. I can draw. I can just point out different things, and I can make my own drawings. I can do multiple pages. So if I do 2, and I do 3, so I can go back and forth in those pages. Every time I do something that's being saved, and then at the end of the lecture, I can export this out and then put a PDF of those notes onto Angel or email it to the students. So instead of writing on the chalkboard and then it all just sort of goes away at the end of class, I'm able to have the students retain that. And because I'm doing this wirelessly, I'm not talking into the whiteboard or the chalkboard. I can be anywhere in the room. So I could be walking around, I could be engaging the students. I could write down half of a question here and then have them raise their hands and have somebody finish it for me. So it really breaks down that barrier of sort of the you versus them. You're at the podium and they're sort of stuck in the room, because you can be anywhere in the room, but you still have all the control of the computer that you would normally have.
And so how could I at a branch campus incorporate that?
What campus are you at?
You can.
Okay. So if you're at a campus that has what's called CLM, what CLM is basically we maintain some software here at UP, and then any campus that wants it can get it for free. So if your podiums are set up that way, you actually already have Doceri installed. Okay. If you don't, you can buy Doceri. It's $30 for a license for a computer, or if the campus or department's buying more than 10 licenses, it's $15 a license. So it's really reasonable. And the iPad app is free. So you're only paying for the portion that runs on the computer. Okay. So all the podiums here at University Park and at any other campus where we have cooperative lab management, it's already installed. Have you ever worked with Brian Young for New Kensington?
No, I haven't.
So Brian Young's he's an instructional designer that comes to different campuses. He can tell you all about this, and he can help you set it up. So because he's sort of I sort of do the Doceri training here at University Park, and then he sort of does it at all the other campuses. So yeah, but it's a really powerful tool.
And is an iPad available for teaching purposes, or can you ask for a grant?
I mean, you can ask for a grant. New Kensington might have some to loan. I know ETS has some loaners that sometimes they lend out for semesters. Or if you have your own, you can bring it in and use it for this purpose. So
it would read my PowerPoints and everything.
Well, the beauty of it is you just load your PowerPoint on here, like this isn't even connected. So you just like you were about to do a normal class, but then you connect this and it shows you what's on here.
Okay, I see.
So this PowerPoint is just running on my.
This is my laptop, and then this would be something else that I walk around.
Yeah, so this is just a standard PowerPoint.
Okay.
But once I bring that up, I can then control it with this. And I also have just normal mouse control. So if I needed to, open up a window, or if I needed to move something around, I have full mouse control too. But it's sort of designed around teaching, so that once I sort of get into that mode where I want to teach, now it really sort of comes into its own, because all the controls are built around presenting.
Okay, and what about videos and so on?
So, because it's just controlling the computer, you could just as easily go to a YouTube page or an Angel page with a video and play that, and you can actually annotate over top of that. So it's not just limited to PowerPoint. I could be on a website or an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, sure. So let's say I go to... which is a great I have to find that for me.
Do you get dizzy?
To play. It's worth seeing. So here's an Apple event.
I was like, what is this? What's that? I want to try it again. I didn't realize what it was.
So let's
You have the mini also.
Yeah, so it works with either one.
Okay.
So let's say I wanted to annotate over this section right here. So right now, I hit my annotation button, and I can highlight these people. You know, I can say
Neat. Can you do
that.
that while the video's playing?
Good question. Let me see.
I'm not sure the human could respond that quickly and
Right.
precisely, but
Right. Let's see if that does that. I've actually never tried that.
The moon's going to be on your left.
Whoa. Oh, I slept my display. Okay, so let's start with that.
Oh, no.
And then I'm going to go into...
You saw the
Okay, I have it there.
like when the sun.
Yep, so what it does is it's basically, it's taking a screenshot and letting you work with that screenshot. And then as soon as I go back out of this mode, it's going to go back to the live. Yep.
Well, it does go around the moon. Because you go on the dark side of the moon. Oh, okay.
so you put the Doceri software on any device.
Yep, any iPad. It's iPad only.
Okay.
And then you put, so there's two parts of it. Yeah, there's the iOS app that runs on any iPad, and then there's the Doceri desktop portion, and that runs on any Mac or Windows machine. And then, so I can show you how to connect here. So I just connect here. So it's really easy to set up. When I start the software, the first thing it does is it shows me this big QR code. So I can go in here, and I'll pretend I haven't used this computer before. So I bring up the camera here, and I basically just point it at that QR code, and it connects. So it's that easy. You don't have to type in anything or worry about am I getting the right IP address. And then after you do that once, it remembers every computer you've connected to. So now I just have to tap there, and it connects automatically. So if you're teaching in 3 or 4 rooms and they all have a computer in the podium, it'll remember all the ones you've connected to, and you can just tap and connect to them.
So the markup tool that's in that, does that make Doceri usable for any other function other than presentations that are more dynamic? Can you use that to?
I watched some of the videos.
Well, so one of the nice, there's this whiteboard mode. So now it's basically an interactive whiteboard, but I don't have to stand at the whiteboard anymore. Now I can be anywhere in the class. I can write some stuff down. I can pass it off to students and have them do it. If you want to, you could set up 2 iPads, and you could have one where you're controlling the class. You could pass this one around to students, or if you're co-teaching, you could each have an iPad, and you could be doing whatever you want to do.
Could you do this without presenting this up on the screen? So like if you were in your office and you're trying to whiteboard yourself, and your department's too cheap to buy you a whiteboard that's really large, could you use this for yourself and save the file?
Yeah, so let me show you the mode here. There's a mode where these presentations...
Or could you prepare a presentation ahead of time on Doceri and then play it back?
So here's some sample presentations. So like this presentation, this was made entirely on Doceri, not being connected to anything. Someone was just sitting at their house or their office, and they sketch all this out. There's multiple pages to it. So they wrote all this out.
And so they can play this back in class and talk?
Yep. Once you get to class, you just connect it here, and then you can...
Play back each portion of...
Exactly.
And you can decide, okay, I'm going to time release this section, I'm going to time release
in
that
fact,
section.
In fact, it's recording every single thing you do, so you can scrub through each thing. So if you wanted to go through here slowly, you could say, here's the first part of this, and you could talk about it for a while, and then you could move on here.
You can change what you reveal.
Yep. So I'm just slowly.
Audio recording in this?
Yeah.
Okay, and you can play back the audio, stop it, and can you then amend your already created file?
If it's in this mode where you see how there's these little red sort of, I think those are I can't remember what they're called.
So it's like a dynamic
keyframes.
timeline.
Yeah. So I can go in here and I can add, like if I wanted to change something that happened right here, if I re-edit this, it'll just save that change. So you could go back
Do
and
it on the fly in the classroom too. You're like, oh, folks, I made a mistake here. Did you see the mistake I made? Now we're going to do it.
and you can hit the record button here, and now it's recording everything that I do. So if I have a PowerPoint up, it's recording that. If I do annotations, it's doing that. And the whole time it's recording my voice from the microphone in the iPad. And as soon as you hit done, it saves that to the camera roll on the iPad, and now I can upload that to YouTube or send it to Angel, share it on Angel, or whatever you want to do with it. So
Right. So it's not just to share, sort of, what do you call the tools, and what do you you call the tool?
Just like an annotation tool. Is that what you're-
Annotation, live annotation
Yeah.
tool.
So it's a remote control, it's an annotation tool, and it's a screen recording tool, and it's sort of a class interaction tool.
Yeah,
You know.
and it's a new way of preparing your lectures if
Yeah.
you're a teacher.
And it's a laser pointer too, because I can, I can point things out, and
Neat.
it's got a lot of potential. And
Yeah, me too.
yes, are you New Kensington as well? Okay. Are you New Kensington as well? Where are you?
I'm IT here.
Oh, IT. Okay.
I'm the
Okay.
new accessibility consultant.
Oh, okay.
That's why
Okay.
I'm asking all
Great.
these questions.
Yeah.
Like, if you have